Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at today's Cambridge Alumni Family Day. I do apologize for the slight delay for this particular session. But without further ado, just a few house announcements before we begin today's session. So this session will be recorded for archival and marketing purposes. NUS and its event partners, Faculty of Science and Just Keep Thinking, may use some or all of these images in their publications, digital platforms, and/or marketing channels. So should you have any questions for today, please post them in the chat panel or the chat box. Your questions will be reviewed and maybe grouped with similar questions to be answered by our speaker later. So please also use the chat panel to send text messages to the administrator should you require any technical assistance. And lastly, this session will be recorded, and once again, you'll be able to view them from the AlumNet website from September 2021 onwards. All right, so may I now hand over the time to Mr. Stephen Tan, our colleague from the Faculty of Science.
Okay, hi, hello, and welcome to our afternoon event. The event you're attending today is part of the Cambridge Alumni Family Day 2021, and usual event homecoming for alumni to stay connected to the entire NUS community. And now I'm pleased to introduce our speaker for today, Ms. REIMAGINE, who is alumni of Class 2017. She is also a co-founder of Just Keep Thinking. Ms. will share with us how Just Keep Thinking managed to combine science and the power of social media to make education and learning more fun and entertainment while changing heart and mind. So this will be an interactive session, so do participate actively by posting your question in the Q&A panel. So without further delay, let us welcome Ms. Kong. Ms. Kong, please. Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Manjing. Okay, just call me MJ, and I am the co-founder of a local science channel called Just Keep Thinking, and it's an honor to be sharing with you guys today how our channel started and how we can also harness the power of social media in each of our respective fields. All right, so let's get started. Hope you guys are feeling great today. So yes, Just Keep Thinking. This is our channel. And what we aim to do, okay, what we are in the first place, okay, we are science and nature edutainment channel in Singapore. Probably the only one that people would have heard of, I would think so, as compared to other media channels out there. So this word edutainment, I would like to share about this word and where it comes from. So the word edutainment is actually a term used as early as 1954, not by none other than Walt Disney, which is why I can see the word Disney here. So it means to educate, but yet to entertain at the same time. And hopefully this combination will better influence viewers' opinions and behavior. So yes, Disney was the first to really solidify this concept. For a short film about dental hygiene, actually, which y'all can find online. It's actually really boring and there's no music and it's black and white. But yeah, I guess that is the start of everything. So yes, using media to teach, to educate, to influence, and to also spread messages around. Yes, so just to introduce my team to you guys, this is me. I'm Bhaga MJ. Oh, I forgot to update the one with the specs. Yeah, so I have a black specs, as you can see. So I'm the video host. I'm actually also a science teacher, and I graduated from NUS in 2017 with a degree in environmental biology under life sciences. Yes. And then I have a co-founder. His name is Ray, or we call him R, Supreme Leader R. Because if you have watched our videos, right, you realize he's never on camera, and yeah, he's always behind the scenes. He's the videographer. He will also check on the content that we put out, whether it's suitable for the mainstream audience, and he's also a social media specialist. So yeah, he knows a thing or two about the data and the analytics. And last but not least, we have our cute little cat, Qwerty. She's a cat. She's a noisy little cat, and that's it about her. And she likes to steal the limelight and the hearts of everyone of our followers. The goal, right, of our channel is really to share knowledge in a light-hearted and bite-sized manner. We see that there was a lack of it in general, not only in the Singapore region, but also the Southeast Asian region. Yeah, so this is our goal, to keep it light-hearted, bite-sized, where everyone can enjoy, and it doesn't have to be full of information or only for the people who studies this particular topic. And our vision in a sense, the longer term goal is to change hearts and minds through the power of social media. Once you have a big following, then that's where you can really make a big impact or send a message where people will actually listen, and it could potentially change hearts and minds on certain issues that are important in this world today. So here are our platforms. We are mainly on Facebook and Instagram, but also on YouTube and TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. So this is our follower counts. We just started TikTok, so yeah, it's still climbing. Overall, as a whole, right, combining everything, we have more than 100,000 followers across the board. I mean, it's not in the millions, but I guess for what we are doing, I would think it's a good thing on my end. It's a good number on my end. Yes, so some of the content that we created, perhaps you have seen some of them, like in the past or recently. So this is a video that we made to share that soft shell crab is actually not a species of crab. It could be any crab that just molted. Yeah, so it was a fact that a lot of people do not know, and we filmed it in a crab farm, which was very interesting. And there's food scenes, like the crabs being cooked, and I was like biting on the soft shell crab, which was really good. So it got a lot of views. Our really viral contents, our infographics. So there's this surgical mask one that went globally viral actually during the COVID period when it just started to spread. It's in an attempt to stop the spread of misinformation. Yes, and we also have a turtle versus tortoise post, which hit around 3 million plus, which pretty good, I guess. So just to share a bit about my journey, how I started everything. So yeah, in lower primary, I don't know what I was interested in. I was interested in ancient Egypt, trying to learn about mummies and how they how they mummified them and all. Yes, but for science itself, it started in upper primary when I've received my first mini encyclopedia. Yeah, and I was very, very interested in it, in particular the biology topics. But yes, that I would consider that the spark for my love for science in general. And then in JC, so this is me, and I'm picking up mangoes, and I was at St. John's Island. So we had a 3-day, 2-night camps where we get to stay over at St. John Island and we get to explore the nature around the area. I actually think it was a program conducted by the NUS museum people, I think, because eventually I get to meet them like now. Yeah, and then I was like, hey, do you remember me? Yeah, so this was actually the spark for my interest and passion for nature and wildlife. So it was this moment where I went for the camp and I realized that there's so many animals around that I didn't know, in Singapore. Yeah, so I was picking mangoes. Please don't go there and pick mangoes. Okay, I don't think it's allowed. But yeah, this was me in the past where I picked up the mangoes, and yes, I will stop there. And this is me after A levels. Nothing much, just to show that I actually work at a lot of very funny odd jobs that I actually do enjoy a lot. And I feel it helps me like in terms of experience. I get to really live my life as it is and experience, how working, at Starbucks is like, how working at Body Shop is like. Yeah, I work at various areas. It was quite fun. All right, so during my uni days is when I really get the bulk of my knowledge when it comes to, nature, wildlife, and science in general. So I volunteer for, Singapore Biodiversity Festival. I work temporarily for MParks. Oh, this is me with a giant millipede. Oh, yeah, it was very fun. Of course, NUS with my FYP project. I did just a FYP research on giant clams, yes, strawberry clams, and the clams that can photosynthesize is really cool actually. So, and then I also work as a gallery guide for Lee Kong Chian Natural History Museum, and also work part-time as an educational facilitator at Wildlife Reserve Singapore, aka your zoo. Yeah, so I was just like lamenting to this giraffe that he eats a lot. He really eats a lot. He cannot stop eating. So I'm like, why are you eating a lot? And someone managed to capture this moment for me. Okay, so the whole point, after I have all, this science and nature knowledge, I just realized that, when we go for like meetings, like webinars, seminars, or where we meet up where we can last time, right? Where we gather in groups to come and talk about science and nature, it was always the same few people, like the ones that are already in the field, already knowing a lot, loving the nature around them. They are always appearing, even though the target was to attract people who are not necessarily into this kind of interest. So it keeps coming back to my mind, like how do we actually get people who are not interested at all, which is actually the mainstream audience. Like we feel that a lot of people are interested, but actually not really if you look at the numbers wise. So I was like, how do we actually get people who don't really care, who will not stop and bother reading whatever we have put out in terms of science and nature, when I look at some of the social media out there that is trying to do more naturey and sciencey stuff. Yeah, so for me, this is how I envision like the bridge of these people. Like first we have to get their interest to begin with, and then from their interest, hopefully whatever they are reading about, watching about, there's a certain spark. I'm not sure if it applies to everyone, but it applies to me. My spark for science, my spark for nature and wildlife. There were certain key moments that really made me realize what I really wanted in my life. So spark, then from then they will learn more, and then they can love more. Yeah, so this was how it looks like to me. And for me, I would think, perhaps social media could be the answer to this. And then, and thus Biography MG is born. And oh, pew, yes, I added some fireworks animation. All right, poll time. So how many % of our populations are active social media users? Okay, so 4.96 million, and versus the population. Okay, so this is just for Singapore. It's 84% of the population in Singapore are actually social media users, active social media users. Annual digital growth compared to last year, it's a 4.3% growth, but that's equivalent to 210,000 people. So average time we spend using the internet in general, just internet, is 8 hours, but social media wise is 2 hours. So, but it's age 16 to 64, so they counted the average. I guess there will be skews lah. I mean, the younger ones will probably use a bit more. All right, second poll. Which is the world's most used social media platform? So we have 4 options. If you have thought of Facebook, then yes, Facebook is the answer for the world's most used social media platform. And then probably because Facebook just started, was the first that started, the whole social media thing. And here you go, these are the stats. So I got it from Hootsuite. You guys can go to their website to have a look at this very, very comprehensive data analytics for social media. So Facebook is the most used, followed by YouTube, Instagram, and then TikTok, and the rest. But for Singapore, interestingly, YouTube is before Facebook. So people actually venture to YouTube more than Facebook. And then you have Twitter. I know a lot of, for the science community, a lot of people like to use Twitter. Yeah, I guess it works, if the general community is there. But in terms of mainstream media, Twitter actually ranks pretty low. All right. Would like to ask everyone, the participants, if you guys know who this group is. So this group is actually a very famous K-pop group, famous globally. They are known as Blackpink. So yeah, perhaps if you listen to some of their music, you realize, it's them, yeah. And they are also the goodwill ambassadors for UN Climate Change Conference. A rather recent news, just a month ago, that they were named to be, the spokespeople for the UN Climate Change. And yeah, and they came out with this video to share about climate change, and basically just a shout out for people to be aware of climate change, and also that there's this COP26 going on, COP26. And yeah, so after they posted this, it was viewed over 10 million times across various social media platforms. And you can see that the comments are like, yeah, let's do this. I'm sure all of them are not really that into it, but the whole point is they get the interest first, and that's the first step to everything, right? If no one even hears what you're saying, then you cannot really go on from there, to the other end of the bridge. Like, you have to get people's interest first. Yes, so I followed them. I'm a big fan of them since their first debut, and I've never seen them being interested about climate change. Yeah, but there's a reason why the UN panel decided to choose them anyway. This is all because the eyes of the mainstream audience. So what does the mainstream audience actually want? So just a disclaimer that it always changes from time to time, but there's a few key guidelines to take note of if you are trying to reach out to the mainstream audience. First of all, they don't want too much info. This is quite, it's quite a duh tip, right? I guess. And from what I see on social media, like we are trying to mince our information to something that's more palatable for everyone, which is good. So that's a very good first step. First of all, they don't want too much info. And that's the same with presentations, you know, like since young, we've been told to not bombard your presentation with too many words. So they don't want too much info and they want to be entertained. Okay, so the whole point about social media is when you're commuting, when you just had a long day of work, all you want to do is to really be entertained and laugh and not really learn more information and try to stuff them in your brain. I know some of us do. That is our way of relaxation. But generally for the mainstream media, they want to be entertained. And that applies to us also. Sometimes we just want to read and watch stupid things and just laugh about it. And last but not least, this point is something that I had to grapple with also, is that they don't really care. Like you may think that someone cares a lot about certain topics, but that's usually because, when you have an interest in something, you'll be surrounded by people and friends who are interested in the same thing or colleagues who are in the same field. So it gives the false sense of, oh, this thing is interesting, let's do it. Or this thing, everyone's talking about it. But everyone's actually not talking about it. It's only in your sphere. But for the mainstream audience, they don't really care. Yeah, so one good example is just like, imagine like, I want to talk about Kalugos. So a very easy way of, first thing that we will think of, is infographic. What is a Kalugo? What does it eat? What is its ecology? What is some conservation message? And it will be the same for video. But then you have to think, why would anyone scroll and stop and read something about Kalugo when they are even not interested in the first place? Okay, unless you put a super cute photo, then I guess that grabs the interest. But the whole point is, you might think it's very interesting, but imagine if someone is scrolling through Facebook or like whatever platform they are on, they are not going to stop and read at it because it's just not what they want. They want to read basically when it comes to social media. So yeah, it's the point that I had to like kind of accept it also, like, because to me everything is interesting, right? Whoa, the bug is interesting, the scorpion is interesting, but to the mainstream audience, no, it's not interesting to them at all. Okay, this is a poll that I really would like everyone to try out. Do we have wild crocodiles in Singapore? All right. Okay, the answer is 1 up. Kudos to Monica and Tiffany for not following people's answer. Yes. Yeah, so we actually do have wild crocodiles in Singapore. In fact, it's like a definitely. But you'll be surprised at how many people do not know that we are wild crocodiles in Singapore. Okay, so I was a bit like shocked by this. I was like, isn't it a dirty? We are wild crocodiles in Singapore. Why? You go Sungai Buloh, it's all there. It appeared in news, it appeared in Mothership before. But so I actually sent messages to all my close friends and I asked them, hey, y'all know we got, do you think we have wild crocodiles in Singapore? Yeah. So they're all my close friends, so my language is a bit casual. They're wild crocodiles in Singapore? I would say yes. Do you know where? Some reservoir is it? And she got stressed. She's like, wow, you ask me like that. Then another friend, I would like to say yes, but I never see any crocs roaming around freely. So no. Outside of zoo, no. So this was another friend, and another friend was like, Sungai Buloh. I don't even know how he gets Sungai Buloh, but yeah, alligator, I think, never heard of crocs. So he think it was an alligator. And then, girls, do you have crocs in Singapore? We have crocodile farm, no? And then the conversation went on, and my friend's like, we don't have mangroves, right? I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, so guys, if anyone who knows, about the nature in Singapore, we do have quite a bit of mangroves. Yeah, one of our treasure troves. No reported sightings. Sorry, it's referring to the crocodiles. Like, no reported sightings. Like, oh my goodness. So yeah, this kind of shows that, you might think it's something that is very duh, but when you actually test it out on mainstream friends, which I have a lot actually, you realize that it is not something that people know, despite it being told so many times. Yeah. Oh wow, crocodile farm. Probably escape into a wild Bukit Timah. Oh well, we wouldn't really know unless they do genetic testing. From what I heard, it probably is from Malaysia, like it swam here. Yeah. But anyway, interesting to know that people don't really know about the wild crocodiles that we have in Singapore. Yeah, so I guess harnessing the power of social media and what the mainstream people want, right, or what will grab their attention, our own agencies and ministries, they have been trying out to be, as hip as possible to spread their messages as well. So this is an example from Singapore Police Force. So they have been very, very, they've been really good last time, but recently their hipster level went down also lah. But I guess it's fine because they don't have to be hip. So you can pick anything per pockets. So if you understand what it means, you can pick your ear, you can pick your nose, pick your mouth, you can pick your fingernails, but don't pick pockets. And this is a recent one by them. So, like they're trying to say that, sometimes you get very random messages on your phone. And they're trying to say you better don't fall for these scams. So yeah, Singapore Police Force. But what they're actually is to keep putting pretty girls on their Facebook page now, which apparently works a lot. So yeah, you guys can try that also. Have some pretty girls on your page and you get all the likes. This very interesting. Okay, so on the left here, this one here, it's a meme. I hope you guys know what a meme. Basically, just how do I explain a meme? Something that is just funny, that it leverages on pop culture and try to make it funny, and then it will go viral. Like people will make their own version of the same thing using the same template. So basically, this is just a relationship between two people. So usually, the guy will be like, "Are you okay?" And then the girl will be, "Yes." And then you think that it's fine, but when you open up the whole story, yesterday I just thought it was funny, but actually I'm not okay. So that was the whole idea behind the meme. So this meme was the one on the right, as you can see, is from Ministry of Sustainability and Environment in Singapore. So they have been recently coming out with a lot of really, really hipster kind of infographic that really took off. Like there were much more likes and shares. You can go on to their Facebook page to check it out. So how do you usually get to office? So they're trying to spread, being sustainable and being eco-conscious. So, when you first pull out, so it's like drive. So you would think that the word is drive, but when you open it, it's driving down carbon emissions by taking MRT and bus. So yeah, these are the ways that I guess our own agency and ministry have noticed that, like they need to do something a bit more cooler, like more relevant to really grab people's attention. Yes, and then would like to share this. Basically something that I've learned also by myself. So this is a story of sour grapes. I guess everyone have heard of it before, right? The fox tries to take the grapes, it cannot reach it, and then it just laments that the grapes are sour. So it's the same thing also, because I've heard a lot of comments about how tacky some of the social media stuff can be, including from our own channel. Like it's not this proper way of communicating science. The information sometimes is a bit too sparse. It's just not the way people would think it could be. And I guess that's because of our science background as well. Like we've been taught, like to write a paper, you need to start with an abstract and introduction, your methods and materials. It's very, very structured. But when it comes to social media where it's so volatile, right? Structuring it actually works against it, because people don't want to read something that it's really structured and informative. Yes. So shouldn't blame people for liking this kind of stuff. Instead you should have that information. You should take note of it and try to mold your information that suits what they like, because ultimately you want their attention. Yeah. So don't hate the player, you gotta hate the game. Social media is just like this. You have to work it to your advantage. You have to see how you are supposed to navigate it through it to get what you want, and not blame people for not liking what you like, or not blame people for not liking what you thought should be the case. Yes. So this actually happened to me when it comes to TikTok. So it took us a while to actually accept TikTok, because right now TikTok is like the whole big social media platform that is very popular amongst the Gen Z. So basically people below my generation, after me, the 2000s and above. Yeah, so for me, I was like, oh, TikTok is so stupid. I'm not going to do it, And then suddenly it dawned upon me, like, is that how my previous generation felt when Facebook and Instagram came up? Then in a sense, like, am I becoming one of them too? So yeah, I actually I was like, about TikTok for the longest time. I'm like, why are people liking this stupid, dumb thing? But eventually I got into it as well. Yeah, because it kind of dawned upon me, like, I cannot blame people for not liking it. I should see what interests them about TikTok and use it to my advantage, and use it in a way that works for me. You guys can type in the chat as well. Do you guys have or plan to download TikTok? So number 1 is I already have already. Number 2, I plan to have it. Number 3 is never. And number 4 is what is TikTok? Oh no, everyone says never. I mean, I guess it's fine if you're not in this field where you're trying to attract the mainstream audience. Oh no, a lot of no, never. All right, that was really my mindset as well. And let me move on. Okay, so these are some of the news articles that we have. More Gen Zers are now using TikTok than Instagram in the US, and more TikTok users in Singapore, despite security and privacy issues that were present in the past, but they have resolved it now.
To the beat, M to the beat, M to the beat, M to the beat, M to the beat, bang.
Okay, very dumb, right? I guess the first thing in your mind is like, this is so dumb. Why is she doing this? But this is actually all about TikTok. It's when pretty much a lot of dumb stuff. Like people do dances, random, like just dancing to music, singing, ranting. Sometimes they don't even speak, they just show you their face. And you can get millions of views. So this is a girl called Bella Poch. She's started TikTok and she's now the most famous TikToker, meaning the one with the most followers, the most likes, and actually propelled her, right, to sign a contract with a music label, Warner Brothers, and then she has her own album, which the album also sold the most in the history of Warner Brothers company. Yeah. So that because of this one video where she's just bobbing to music. So that's how basically TikTok works, I guess. Okay, I'll just review for this, okay? 1 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. Actually, the answer is none. She had for this one video, it is over 600 million views. Yeah, just for this one video of bobbing. Yeah, so the whole appeal of TikTok is it's really fast. It is hardly 1 minute. It's usually 30 seconds or less. But because of that, the views really can accumulate to a number that you can't really get when you use Facebook or YouTube. I mean, I know Baby Shark on YouTube is like the most viewed of them all, but compared to Baby Shark where you have to spend so much effort to create the animation and music, compared to this where you're just bobbing to music, I think she's doing not bad. Yes. So that's the whole point about TikTok, which I try to grapple with also when I just started. In fact, I just started, yeah. Okay, so this is another example of TikTok. On the left is a trend, and on the right is what I did with the trend. Okay, so you have trends. Basically, there's a dance that's going around and everyone started copying it. So let me just show you guys what is this trend. Let me just stop there. Basically, that's it. There's the music and you dance to it and then it goes viral and everyone starts to do it on TikTok. Okay, so this is what I did with it to infuse a bit of science inside it. I hope you guys would understand what I'm trying to say in the video. I've heard feedback from my friends that they don't understand, but it's all right. Yeah. So I hope you guys get it. So what I'm trying to say is that, daddy long legs is actually a term that is frequently used for actually a variety of animals, not just one. So it could mean sailor spider. It could mean the other two, which harvestman, and yeah, the last one I've forgotten. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's basically it. And that's also the reason why scientific names are important, because scientific names only refers to this one animal, and hence it will not cause any confusion. Yeah, so I kind of combine it both. So that's how I feel like how I'm trying to adapt to TikTok, using my own flavor and what I am trying to, the information that I'm trying to give out there. Yeah. So it didn't get a lot of views, but we recently had a TikTok that went pretty well that, didn't get it's okay. Right on someone's trend while the interest is spreading. I would guess so. It's not somebody's trend. It's just a general trend that's going on TikTok that everyone is doing, and join them. and do it so that your video gets seen, but you can infuse your own science knowledge inside, and it will. There's a chance of people watching your content and learning something from it. So yeah, that's the whole idea. So we actually had this TikTok that we just posted about during NDP season, for NDP, and it actually was the first that got around 120,000 views on it, which I was really happy about. So let me share with you guys. Okay, guys, let me tell you how Singapore kind of got its name wrong. So legend has it that a very ripped Sumatran prince called Sang Nila Utama was kind of just cruising around the ocean. He then stumbled upon an island and he claimed that he saw a lion in the dense forest. So he decided to call this island Singapura, which means Lion City in Sanskrit. And then we kind of went overboard with this lion sighting and it became everything associated with Singapore. But the funny thing is, what Mr. Sang saw was probably not a lion. In fact, there were no lions ever recorded in Singapore. What Mr. Sang saw was probably a Malayan tiger. Yeah, I'm not sure how he got it wrong, but we have quite a few of these tigers running around back in the past. Okay. If Singa means lion, right? Then what is the Sanskrit word for tiger? It's Viagra. It could have been Viagra por. Okay, yes. Ignore that. But the whole point is that there were no lions in Singapore ever. So, and what what Sang Nila Utama saw could be a tiger. Could be a tiger. There were no lions in Singapore. We could have seen a tiger or maybe an Asian golden cat. Yeah. So it actually was rather well received because of the humor inside. Although I have to mention that I actually pronounced the word wrongly, so it's not supposed to be what I speak. Yes, but anyway, so yeah, this is I guess that's how TikTok works. Just very, very, very short clips that gives humor. And if you want to make it informative, you have to work it in yourself. Because the normal, usual way of presenting, it doesn't work there anymore. But it's fine. You guys don't have to download TikTok if that's not what you guys are interested in, or if your goal is not to reach out to the mainstream audience. If you're just, because you don't have to. It just depends on what you would like to do and what field you're in. So, but just a glimpse of TikTok, which I guess most of you do not know about. Yes, this is how TikTok works. Hopefully things will change as we move on. So, just some of my tips that I've shared a lot, but just to summarize, to know your goals. What are you trying to do? If you're really trying to have a social media following to spread messages on what you are doing, then that is your goal. But the thing is, if you're a researcher or you just want to do your own stuff, study your own things, publish your own papers, don't have to sweat and put in so much effort to try and brainstorm the social media aspect, because it's a lot of effort. And it doesn't necessarily pay off unless you really keep putting a lot of work and heart and soul into it every single day. So know your goals and then know your strengths. So social media, they do like being entertained, but there's also a market for informative stuff to be put out there, especially on YouTube. So YouTube is the place where, if you really want to go in depth, you can go head on there. But even the very good in-depth videos that has a lot of information, they are also entertaining at the same time. So, you have to work it out, how can you play to your strengths and how can you add in a bit of what people want inside so that they will continue watching it. Yes. And if you're funny and you're humorous, I guess it works well for you. I think I'm funny. I'm not sure. People think I'm funny, so I guess it works in terms of my channel. Yeah, but if you're not funny, don't try to be funny, okay? It's really very weird. Yeah, like I've seen videos doing that and it's very, very cringy. Do not do that. Yeah, even if you're awkward, right? That might be a unique trait of yours that people like, which you can see from some YouTube video. Like the person is just really awkward, but people like that about this person, and this person is famous in a sense. Last but not least, please know your audience. And all these 3 tips are, they're interlinked: your goals, your strength, your audience. It will change from time to time as you discover new points about these 3 aspects. So know your audience. If you're targeting the very the educated people out there who wants more information, then yes, you can play to your strength. Your goal will change accordingly. But if you're like just keep thinking you want to target the mainstream audience, then it's a whole different story. In fact, I would think it's like probably the hardest because you actually don't know what they want most of the time. A lot of testing out, trying and testing, and a lot of trial and error. Yeah, but when you realize that people actually learn, then that's something that I'm really happy about. Yeah. So for Just Keep Thinking, we have a lot of love and support. I just want to share like what I've gained from doing Just Keep Thinking, on social media and being on social media. So these are all like Facebook comments and messages, also like WhatsApp messages. So a 60-year-old guy, he really, really liked our videos, and then he's like, "You're my media god daughter," and it's like, "Sure, I'll be your media god daughter anytime." So yeah, we actually have quite a bit of the 60 to 70 years old, senior citizens actually enjoying what I've put out there, which is really heartwarming. They are also the ones who will, come and say hi to me when they meet me on the streets. They're like, "Are you girl MJ? Is that you?" It's like, yes, I watch your videos. Yeah, very, very cute lah. Yeah, and this is Kai, who's a small little boy. And then his mom is the one that sent the message that he loved the videos a lot, and he actually did his own like Bible MJ episode, and then the mom shared it with me. It was really, really cute. So yeah, that was very, very heartwarming. And the third one is actually a mom of my ex-student, and the mother, right, actually went to become a patron on Facebook. So Patreon is just a scheme where you can actually donate a small amount of money every month to these creators online if you support what they've been doing. So yeah, she actually became a patron of Just Keep Thinking, which was, oh my goodness, it was really heartwarming considering that she's a parent of my student. Yeah. And second, we have new opportunities that I gained from doing Just Keep Thinking. I get to be a judge. So there's this homeschool science fair where, they the homeschool children in Singapore, they can produce their own videos, and we have a few judges, and I was just one of them trying to help them rate their video and also give them some tips and advices to improve on it. So that was quite fun. Being a panel host. So I was a host for a panel discussion about the vaccine with the Temasek Foundation, in this Momentum T presentation. Yes. And also I get to be an MC, which was really cool. I didn't know I could MC, but yeah, and once I do one project, then the rest starts to pour in. So I was an MC for NTU's open house. And you guys might want to consider me. But anyway, yes, NTU's open house, and it was well received. So I was quite happy that I did a good job there. Also new opportunities to meet people. People that I've admired and respected for a long time. So one of them was Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Tan Chuan Jing. So yeah, I liked him since I was young because I met him at a award ceremony, and I actually like the work that he has been doing. This is a video about how wildlife adapted to our urban environment. You guys can check it out on Facebook. And he actually did the uwu, which was quite entertaining. Yeah, you guys should watch it. He actually did the uwu. Like we had a uwu fight, and then the bird responded to one of us. I will not say who. Yeah. And then I met Water Wally and Water Sally. Hey, do you see them? So this is a coastal protection treasure hunt episode where Water Wally and Water Sally joined me on this. By the way, guys, they are the mascot for PUB. In case you guys do not know who they are. And last but not least, I actually had filmed an episode also recently with Minister Desmond Lee, so the Minister for National Development, MND. Yes. So we were finding animals in different habitats in Jurong Lake Gardens. So Jurong Lake Gardens is one of his area basically. So yeah, really, really fun. I really enjoyed filming with him because he's such a down-to-earth person, a really nice guy. And last but not least, on the broader scale of things, right, I get to address issues about problems happening that in Singapore that we should be taking note of. And that can only happen if people is going to stop and watch or read what you have put out there. If not, right, then you can put as many information as you can, but there's no point if no one's going to read it. Yeah, so with a bigger following, that's when I realized, hey, I have this potential and power to actually do and address more issues that are really important, that people should hear about it. Of course, in my own flavor, so that they will actually read through it. But so we started off with addressing COVID misinformation. That is how mRNA vaccines work. So we did it with Temasek Foundation. And then the next we also did a video about mercy release, why it is bad. And we actually did it with a lama from this federation. And yeah, I mean, with the lama, you would thought that he would promote mercy release, but he himself also encouraged that it's not good to release the animals. And last but not least, there's a big incident about Changi Beach. I'm not sure if it's big lah. Some of my friends do not even know about it, where people are collecting animals with buckets and tongs. Yeah, so it affected me a lot because I do intertidal a lot and I love the intertidal environment out there. And then just, when the news came out overnight, we came out with this infographic that went viral, small viral. It got spread around to basically tell people why it's not good to do that, but why we shouldn't be angry at NParks all the time for everything that has happened, because there are reasons why certain laws could not be imposed, and education is key. All in overall what we're trying to say. Yeah, you guys can go check it out and then you understand. So it's not only to tell people why it's not good to do all these things to collect animals, but also why there are certain reasons, certain laws cannot be imposed. Because if you just say that all invertebrates, are banned, you cannot take it, then if you kill a cockroach, you're going to go to jail, is it? So there's a lot of, I guess people should just think a bit more critically and open their eyes a bit more to see how complicated situations really are before we make comments or we make hurtful comments and accusations. So yes, I think, I've overshot by 5 minutes, but thank you all for listening. Do follow us on Facebook, Instagram. It's okay, you don't have to follow on YouTube. YouTube also, but TikTok, if you guys don't have it, it's okay, you don't have to download it or anything. But yeah, we have, video and infographic contents pushed out regularly that really addresses science and nature, wildlife stuff. Yes, thank you so much. If you have any questions, I can address it now. You guys can type it in the chat box, which I've seen some of them. All right. I see. I'll try TikTok now. Get with the young crowd. For professionals, LinkedIn is the platform. Yeah. We are on LinkedIn recently only. Yeah, we didn't really care much about LinkedIn, but I'm trying to get it back up. So I recently changed the banners and everything because I see it's a potential area to reach out to the professionals, the people the adults up there higher. Yeah, but I probably need to figure a way out because LinkedIn is another audience that would probably prefer another form of communication. Yeah. What do you think of other similar YouTube channels such as Minute Earth and Kazakhstan? Oh, they are amazing, obviously. Yeah, but they have millions of subscribers and views. But they are primarily animation company. At least there's an animation team behind, which is not exactly what Just Keep Thinking is doing. We're a bit more of personality video. We do have animations, but it's not like a full-scale animation, which is actually very, very difficult to do. And it costs a lot of money. You guys have spoken to animation companies to get their rates, right? Yeah. You guys will know how expensive it can be, and there's a lot of work involved. In fact, Kazakhstan, they are amazing. They only release one video per month, but every single of their videos is so full of quality and the animation is so good and the information is all there. So yeah, I guess that's how YouTube works. YouTube, you will need to really get the global audience, which I guess Just Keep Thinking is still trying to find our way there. Yeah, we're not doing too bad. I mean, it's not millions, but 5,000, I guess, is not too bad. The comments are doing all right, compared to, similar YouTube channels in this field from Singapore. I guess we are doing not too bad lah. I wouldn't say that we are very sucky in that aspect. What's your channel's greatest challenge while trying to grow? My channel's greatest challenge while trying to grow is personally the fact that social media is so volatile. It just comes and goes. So sometimes you come out with a post and it gets a lot of views, a lot of likes, people liked it a lot, it gets shared a lot, then that's a happy moment. But the next step, right? The next thing that comes out, right, will probably be not be as good. In fact, it may just be a very, very low number of views and shares. And that kind of roller coaster ride of emotion, first you're so happy because it did so well, people are responding to it, people are learning about it, and then suddenly the next one, right, it doesn't do well. And it may continue to go on for a very long period of time before you experience another peak. Or for some people, when they started out for 1-2 years, it still doesn't get any traction. So that's the greatest challenge, not only for my channel, but just for content creators in general, is that, the hardest part is to do it every day, even though you don't see the results immediately. Yeah, and that's just how social media works. You cannot blame anyone for it. Unless you just do like what the current people are doing, like doing funny stuff, lifestyle, or you put a pretty girl there. I guess that one works consistently. But because my channel is not that, we are trying to do something different. It's I have no one to model with in Singapore's aspect like a vlogger science one. So we're really just trying to find a way around, and I'm trying to learn, that if something doesn't do well, it's okay. We tried it out already. We just try a bit more again next time. What's my Facebook website? You can search for Just Keep Thinking. Yeah, and we're on Instagram, Just Keep Thinking SG. Yeah, so you can just hit over there, and you guys can like and follow our page for more updates. Yes, you can see this yellow girl popping up. How do you conceptualize content? This is a very interesting question. So what we do, the current trend is definitely something that will almost have a 70% of success rate. So basically, what is going on now? What incidents is happening around you at this moment? So during COVID period, yes, the COVID topic is super, super popular. If you go on YouTube, right, you will see all the doctors coming out with their own YouTube videos about, the COVID secrets, the science behind COVID and everything, because they know that their videos are going to do well. Yeah. So, like for a recent Changi Beach incident, like immediately the next day, the infographic was out because we didn't sleep. Literally we didn't sleep for the entire night, and we just like brainstorming how we're going to do this infographic. So the news came out on the first day. The second day, our infographic was out already. So you have to really be, always be ready, if there's certain information you got to get out there. It doesn't make sense, after 1 week, then you post, then who's going to read it? No one wants to read it, right? It's the ship has sailed already, like no point. Yeah, so that's what social media is about. It's really fleeting moments of news that you really have to be in it when it stops at your station. Once it leaves, then it's like bye-bye, don't bother already. It's a waste of effort. Yeah, and also just everyday stuff, so it can be very random. So something I think of like, let me talk about this thing is interesting. So we did like coriander topic. It's something that we always kind of, it's a very relevant topic. You either hate coriander or you like it. So this idea just pops out in my mind out of nowhere, and I'll just record it down. Like, okay, we'll do a post about coriander. Yeah, so it can be very random. It can be trendy. And sometimes we'll just do like World Tigers Day. So we did a one on World Tigers Day, which is something like, we can find out beforehand. So we did find out beforehand, and we just create a very simple post, but we made it a bit more funny, and it was very well received. You guys can take a look at it. I would think it's like one of the, it's something I'm proud of also. We are proud of. So you can go take a look at the infographic because we added some funny parts at the end. Yes, so that's actually how we do content. A lot of trial and error, because you never know what people will actually like. And that's the whole thing about social media. It's annoying, but yet it's fun at the same time. Yeah, because things are not rigid and everlasting. It always changes. But that's also how we, in like the people who in the social media industry, that's how they improve, and that's how they learn. That's how they try to improve what they are doing, and they grow from there. So that is the whole idea about it. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I think, I guess we are trying to really change the whole social media scene, because the whole word of social media and influencer, it gives a negative connotation, that is all about showing stuff, talking about dumb things, but I think what Just Keep Thinking is trying to do is like we can use the power of social media and combine it with science and make it interesting as well. Like there could be an educational value inside, and it's not the typical education video that you see. It could be something that even people who are not interested in education, they will enjoy it as well. Yeah, so I think that's our whole goal. Getting a lot of ideas. Yeah, it's a lot of work though. So I mean, sometimes it might be okay to give someone else that job if they can do it better, which I guess is what the ministries and they are all doing. You know, they just hire a meme person. If you guys remember that went a bit viral, the news, like they're hiring a meme person to do their post. Yeah, because it's just less load off your shoulder as well. If you just pass it on to somebody, like you give them the information and they will just turn it in a way that is suitable and attractive to people. And that kind of working relationship is it works as well. Probably better if you try to figure it out all yourself. Yeah, but it's always fun, you know, to just get on social media and see what the trend is. I've been following Sign Up Because You're a Person. Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you for following.
Okay, I think the time is now 3 p.m. I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for the time and all the participants, coming to this event. All right, so have a good day, have a good weekend. All right, and thanks to you also, Minty.
No problem.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, bye bye, guys.
Just keep thinking. Bye bye.